For better or worse, I tasted all the whiskeys very quickly, back to back, in the first video. Um, Around an hour in, I was going to go back and do more detailed notes on each of those, and I lost audio. It couldn't figure out why. It did not appear to be any problem from my side. It appeared to be an entirely YouTube-driven problem. I had this problem last week. YouTube, when I was trying to scroll through. Yeah, my day has not been great on the streaming front. It's been very difficult to get this to work. VPR wave jack attack. But thanks for joining. Last week I had, in the middle of my stream, about an hour 30 in, the audio cut out for no reason. I thought it was my equipment. I thought it was a fluke. Just started a new stream, did a part 2, moved on. This is part 3. This is the third time I've tried to stream tonight. This time I quit using my good microphones. The audio quality on this will be lower. But I wanted to offer an explanation up front of what's happening, why you have a third part in this, why they're all broken up. This is all part of the same experience. Every one of these was shot back to back to back for those who are viewing this in the future. I have tasted all 10 of these Booker's pours up here in the first video. But I want to give you more detailed notes. I want to dig into this a little bit more. So there were several people that were going to taste the Granny's batch with me. In part 2, I gave some more detailed notes about No's secret. So that's good. But I'm going to try to dig into some more of the other batches. I think we're probably waiting on a couple people. I know there were several of us that wanted to get together and all try Granny's batch at the same time. I've got a pour of Granny's batch right here. I'll get started on that, and then hopefully others can join in as I get into the process. Granny's batch is really just incredibly peanut brittle, was the note that Nate gave. After smelling all 9 of the others, you know, the peanuttiness was so prominent. Didn't get any of that sweetness. That the peanut brittle was just gone. But now that I've had a bit of time, it's been a few minutes where I was dealing with technical difficulties, so I can dig back in with a sort of fresh nose to the Granny's batch. And I definitely get the peanut brittle. I understand where that's coming from. You get that peanut note, you get the sweetness of like a honey, caramel, butterscotch, a little bit. It's a very good nose. It's a very good note. But yeah, I can definitely see that creaminess as well, Nate. There's definitely a creamy component to this. But yeah, it's a beautiful nose, but it's not particularly complex. Which, you know, somebody commented recently on one of my videos that I kind of say that with some frequency, that is almost a derogatory thing to say. It's not very complex. Well, and their comment was, you know, yeah, it's not complex, but it's not supposed to be. It doesn't need to be. It's a good pour in its own right. I agree with that. I do think that complexity is overrated by a lot of people. I think that a simple nose or a simple taste or, you know, a clear idea of what you're trying to do and doing it well is a wonderful thing. But part of what I'm thinking when I'm doing these tasting notes is, what kind of price point would I put on this, and how does that compare to the markets? How does that compare to MSRP, which are 2 different questions. The markets pay more for complexity. And you're absolutely right that sometimes I'm going to want a less complex pour. Sometimes I want something that's doing this specific thing, and that's all. But I do kind of view it as my job when I'm doing these reviews to not just focus on what I like, but also focus on how it fits into the broader schema that all of this is operating within. Because if I find something that's really complex, that's not expensive, I feel compelled to say, if you like complex things or if you like these notes, you should buy it, because it's going to be a lot harder to buy in the future. When we have to think about those kind of things in the current marketplace, because it used to be every Four Roses pick sat on shelves at liquor stores. And now there are allocated lotteries to get your hands on Four Roses store picks. I was just a part of a lottery to get my hands on a Buffalo Trace store pick and a Knob Creek store pick. That's unheard of a year ago, maybe 2 years ago, depending on where you are. So the markets do dictate a lot of that kind of thinking. But yeah, it's a simple note. It's a great note. I got people talking to them here about this particular pour. This is, again, Granny's Batch 2020-1, 63.2% Bookers. Not the most recent batch of Bookers, but the most recent batch I've seen and gotten my hands on. In the first live stream, I learned that somebody picked up I think they said it was called Boston Batch, something like that, 2020-2 in Lexington, Kentucky. So it's been released. It's out there now, but their website didn't show it 3 days ago. So what are you going to do? Yeah, I don't really get a fruit note on the nose. Well, if you really dig into it, maybe you can get some, like, if you've ever, this is an obscure one. So there's a blueberry waffle syrup made by, or I'm sorry, there's a blueberry waffle cereal made by Eggo. It was a limited release, I think. I don't know. But the blueberry waffle cereal is what I'm getting out of this. So you get that subtle fake blueberry note, but it's there. It's subtle. Nate says, slight fresh mint. I mean, I can see that. There's like this fresh note. Nate had blueberry waffles this morning. Yeah. There's this very slight fresh note. I could see that being a minty note. But for me, it's very much related to the peanut quality. So it's hard for me to separate out that minty freshness from like the initial shell peanut note. If you sniff it harder, it's easier to find the minty note. Trevor says he never gets mint. I've seen a couple of pours that were incredibly minty. I'll keep my eyes out for you, Trevor. If I see one, I might hit you up about it. Because I know they're out there. I can't recall the notes off the top of my head, but there are some minty pours. Tasting notes on Granny's Batch. Mint julep, yeah, right. So there's a definite woodiness. That woodiness is sort of inescapable from a lot of Booker's batches. But this is a particularly astringent, sharp, woody note for me. It's almost like pine. That's that mintiness. It's not mint. It's pine. That's that freshness, I think, because it shows up on the palate. Yeah, and you go back to the nose, and I get pine. Yes, raw wood. That's right. The fuck? There was a hair in my whiskey. That's it looked like one of mine, so I'm not too worried about it. But that really changes the mouthfeel. Oh man, okay. I get a little bit of a bitter black chocolate too on the early in the palate. The mid palate, I got a little bit more of the pepper. That raw wood, there's definitely a nuttiness. I still call it peanut. Yeah, the finish lasts a long time on this. You're totally right, Nate. And it's this warm, spicy finish. It doesn't hurt, but it tickles almost. A little lingering tingle of the heat of the pepper, of the woodiness. There's this aftertaste of wood. Yeah, peanut shell could be considered raw wood as well. I totally agree. Breathe deep. Oh, fuck, this is almost gone. Yeah, Trevor's having some bad mouthfeel with his suicidal fly. Okay. No, I have very little of this left, but I'm going to add probably a half a drop of water. Half a drop, you kind of got to do this too. Just tag it on the side. But there's so little in this. I don't want to add too much water. But I feel like this could open up with some water. It could be kind of different with some water. So I'm just going to kill this glass with water. And yeah, I will, Nate. Thanks for reminding me. That's what I'll do next. In fact, is I'll jump back to Tommy's batch and give some notes on that. So water with Granny's batch here. It calmed down a lot of that pepperiness. I get more sweet, almost honeyed notes in the mid palate. A lot of it's still very much the same, but the heat really is calmed down more than just the drop in proof. It opens up a little bit. So that's a really interesting pour. I will say I think Granny's batch is definitely worth picking up. It's doing some really cool things. Usually I don't love those strong astringent woodiness pours, but I can really see the potential for cool opening up and cool profile modifications, ice, water, all kinds of things like that. Yeah, Nate felt like he could feel a lot of the things he wanted from Granny's batch. I totally get that. All right, Tommy's batch. I'm going to take a sip of it, maybe 2 or 3 sips, without adding anything, and then I will go back and add a little bit of water, and we'll see what I think. Part of the reason I'm doing this is that Nate provided the sample. Shout out, Nate, once again, for this sample of Tommy's batch. Nate also provided the sample of Kitchen Table and the sample of Granny's batch that I just finished trying. And again, a big shout out to John Warner for sending me the 2013-6. Very good pours from everyone. The rest of them were in my collection. I bought a couple of those from an unnamed party. Appreciate him, who's either watching or will probably watch at some point in the future. So big shout out there. Yeah, compared to Granny's batch, this is much sweeter. I get a lot more like honeysuckle. You get a lot more maybe green apple. A lot of cool things happening in this one. I really like that. Ooh, I almost sneezed. I got close. I really like the nose on this one. Okay, let's give it a little sip here. Yeah, it's not my favorite on the palate right away. Yeah, Trevor, I definitely recommend you try to find more. There's some good stuff out there. There's some really interesting stuff out there that are outside of those that you've tried. You said you tried Barbecue Country, Ham Beaten Biscuits, Granny's. You definitely should try Shiny Barrel and Teresa's, particularly Teresa's because it was so divisive. I think that's worth picking up. That's worth trying. You might be able to pick it up relatively cheap because people didn't care for it. I'll see if I can't find find that. We can talk about that later. But kind of going back to that sour note that I picked up on the Blue Knights batch. I'm going to bring it down here. Yeah. So that weird, like sour, almost rubbery note I got from Blue Knights, I definitely get that from the Tommy's batch as well. It's a little bit more subtle, but the flavors are very compact. So I definitely think Nate's right that I'm going to add 2 drops of water to that much whiskey. There's a lot of debate about how much water. Oh. I'm a shambles. There's a lot of debate about how much water to add. I don't think that was enough water. I'm going to add a little bit more water. We'll go 5 drops. I really want to open this up. Really want to see what it's doing. Oh, that opened it up. Okay. Okay. Oh man. So that sourness is becoming more and more like an overripe fruit. Yeah, Uncle Dave, that's definitely something I'd like to do. I will tell you, since you mentioned that, Uncle Dave, the part of the new Patreon levels is going to be a sample kit that I send out. They won't be less expensive pours, but they will be good pours, but they will be coming as part of your Patreon benefits. At level $12, at the $12 level, we're going to do 3 times a year. We're going to do tasting kits with very good whiskeys in them that we will do Patreon-only live streams for. That's definitely going to be a part of it. That aside, I do think, Dave, you're absolutely right that I've been calling him Uncle Dave, Nate, so you might as well. Shameless plug. I've definitely got to plug the Patreon $12 level. You can do those. You can get some really expensive, interesting pours that are hard to find that I will be sharing with people to do live stream taste. Next to side by side tastings. But Dave, you're right. I will be doing some less expensive pours. Matter of fact, one of the things I really want to do, Dave, is a budget night, specifically focusing on things that are below some sort of price threshold, maybe $25 locally. That's just so I can shamelessly get Buffalo Trace added in because I can get that really cheap around here, certain places. Yeah, I think that's a great idea. I like tasting along with people. I think it's a really cool way to engage with people. So that's absolutely going to be coming on the horizon. Oh man, this I don't think I like this, guys. This Tommy's batch. There's this inescapable sour note. That is that rubber note that Dave was talking about, I believe. This has that rubber note. And the water separated it out. It became isolated. I mean, you might like Tommy's a lot, Nate. Oh, almost spilled. People have different palates. Things don't hit people the same way. I can see some good qualities in it. but it's just really not my thing. I think it's hard for me to articulate, but that rubber note just kind of it overpowers for me. It really becomes hard to avoid. Yeah, that's a shame. I'll come back to that at some point, Nate, with no other whiskeys before or after it, and see, because I'm kind of suspecting that those I'm getting a coloring of my experience because of the other whiskeys I've been drinking. And that's just part of it. Like, you are going to have your experience colored by what else you're drinking, what else you're doing at the time. That's just unavoidable. So if you really want to make sure that you can get the purest sense of what's going on in that particular pour, I think it's really valuable to do it both as a first pour in a lineup and as a pour that's sort of later on in the line. Is Joe in the chat? Yeah, Joe's here. Okay, cool. I wanted to make sure. Trying to make sure people that yeah, have a good night, Dave. I wish I didn't have to do it in 3 streams, but I'm glad I was able to keep doing it. So I appreciate you guys tuning in. I think next week I'm going to just go ahead and plan on using some sort of streaming service. They'll probably put some sort of watermark on it, which I don't like, but I want to test out before I buy. So just look for that. You'll see it. Hopefully that will cure my ails, so I don't have to keep doing this. Re-upping new streams every however many hours. I kind of want to go back. To Teresa's batch because it was so maligned, and frankly, I've had several side-by-sides where I did not care for the Teresa's batch. So I want to see how I feel about it, after some time. God, that nose is so good. You know what it's getting me now? I'm getting that chocolate note I was talking about before and the wood note I was talking about before, but now I'm also getting marshmallow fluff. Oh, it's like a fluffernutter almost. It's like a s'more. It's like a s'more. Joe's still drinking Granny's batch. Yeah, I recommend sticking with, like, I recommend not doing what I'm doing right now. This is too much, man. I just dropped a fluffernutter reference. That's right. See, that's so vindicating. Like, one of the things I'd heard about the Teresa's batch is that it was very herbal. That's not what I'm getting out of it. There is an herbal quality, perhaps slightly more herbal than some of those other pours. Right there, right there, right there. But the thing that stands out to me so much is that chocolate note. And people are divisive about that chocolate note. The one that comes to mind right away is the Woodford Reserve Chocolate Malted Rye, which I've done a review of, and the Old Forester 1910, which I think I've done a review of. If I haven't, I should do one. That kind of interesting chocolatey note is divisive. Some people hate it. Honey, woodiness, chocolate mid-palate. It's like Cocoa Puffs, chocolate cereal mid-palate. So one of the first videos I did, I think it was the 3rd video I shot, was the Old Forester 1915 video, which is essentially you take the Old Forester 1920, the Old Forester 1910, you do a review of each side by side, you mush them together, you pour them into one glass, 1915. Yeah, fluffernutters are very complex. Yeah, I totally agree, Trevor. It's a unique pour, but this reminds me of it in many ways. What I'm going to do, Let me pull out the card for Teresa's batch and see what their tasting notes are. And I'll see if I agree with them. It says the nose is sweet with some hints of brown sugar, light oak, and vanilla. I definitely get the brown sugar. I definitely get the oak. I don't get much vanilla. I think the vanilla might be hidden more than some of these other pours. Yeah, I think a lot of people, Nate, would like this if it wasn't Booker's. As a matter of fact, tasting it in lineup, I like this. These are terrible tasting notes, though. The taste is unique yet unmistakably Booker's bourbon with a pleasant and warm finish, both sweet and spicy. That's a terrible tasting note. Here are my tasting notes. Definitely woody in the front. Sweet. That woody astringency continues forward. It becomes a walnut. Get this honey. Get the cinnamon. Good stuff. That's good stuff. I like that a lot more than I did last time I tried it. But let's put it next to, I'm going all out of order. I'm all over the place. I'm out of control. Let's go next to Backyard Barbecue. But first, quick break. I hope you guys have seen that I've chugged half a gallon of water in like 4 drinks and then like 3 little sips. A lot of chugging. It kind of tastes like plastic too. That's not great. Oh, excuse me. See, I think that I came into Teresa's batch with some overly inflated expectations because I really, really like the smell and taste of Backyard Barbecue. I think you're right, Nate. Too many people like are unwilling to venture out into the other elements, the other areas in which Bookers can occupy. Like I've said tonight, I've seen several different profiles in these Bookers pours. I've tried to, the best I can, express them to you. For those of you who haven't been able to try them, maybe help you identify them if you've tried them and gone, this doesn't taste right. What's different? Yeah, Trevor, I think you're right that this is definitely hot at first. It's no question there's the heat to it. Yeah, it's got more burn than a lot of them, but it's a cinnamon burn to me. It's a sweet cinnamon. Joe's over there grilling, having a good time, I think. Yeah, totally, Nate. Like people wouldn't pay the price they do for the batches. It wouldn't make any sense. If you were going to make it always be that peanut brittle, then quit giving it batch names, quit doing limited releases, quit doing number releases, just have Bookers on the shelf all the time like you do with, well, like they used to do with Bakers until they made it the single barrel. I get a lot of sweet vanilla. Wonderful, slightly herbal mid-palate. The finish is kind of subtle, kind of a subtle woody pine. Not pine, I'm sorry. Subtle woody oak. Probably a smoked oak or a charred oak. That Baker's single barrel is divisive for me, Nate said. Yeah, I kind of wondered about that Baker's single barrel. I've been holding off on buying one because I really want to try it before I buy it, and I haven't had a chance. But I've seen that Baker's get some mixed thoughts from people because it does kind of smell like they did some rebranding and made a single barrel product so they could charge more and not much else changed. That's distasteful for me and for a lot of people. Yeah, see, one was bad, one was great. Nate's exactly. You know what? Nate is highlighting the exact same problem that Blanton's something fell. Nate is highlighting the same problem Blanton's had. Blanton's has some amazing single barrels, amazing. But I've also had some Blantons that were basically garbage, and that is the nature of a single barrel product. When you're making a lot of a single barrel product and it's not a store pick and it's not being quality controlled correctly, some of them are going to be just mediocre. Some of them are going to be fucking amazing. And that process is going to end up in your hands. Not much you can do about it. Oh, I love the smell of this. Okay. I get a waxiness out of this. Sweet vanilla waxiness. Yep, McKenna's that way too, Trevor. Exactly. Oh, gonna reach for the water yet again. Water tastes like plastic. Not great. Mwah. My baby is over in the corner, kissing me goodnight. I think she's going to bed. Can't say I blame her. I should be in bed too, but I'm not yet. I'm glad this live stream's going so well so far. Third time's the charm, I guess. Technology is a real bear sometimes. Let's dig into another one, shall we? Let's dig into... Have I dug on the kitchen table? I don't think I have. Has anything overthrown your favorite country ham? As I get deeper and deeper into these pours, Nate, it becomes harder and harder to decide if one is better than the other. So much of that is subjective, and my palate with 0 pours is different than my palate with X pours that I've had thus far. I think at the very end I might go back and nip everyone real quick and just pick a favorite. But I want to give a couple more quick and dirty deep dive tasting notes just to make sure I give them to you guys. I want you to have them. I want to speak to the people, so I will. What am I sipping? Kitchen table. Kitchen table is very sharp, very bright, very citrusy. It's a corn syrup sweetness. It's a fruity sweetness. I actually like that a lot. Berries, cherry, lemon. The one the anonymous person sent me. Was that a Nate? Are you talking about a Booker's? Because I think the only anonymous people dealing with the Bookers were people that I actually purchased bottles from. I called out both yourself, Nate Cooper, and John Warner because they gave me pours for free. I want to protect the anonymity of people who request it, who give me pours, which there are a couple of people that do that. But also, I want to be cognizant and give anonymity to people who are in the trading game, because I know that is kind of a frowned upon practice sometimes. Although the person who sold me those bottles was very, very nice about it and gave me a good price. The Nose Secret, I think, is the one, Nate, you're referring to. That was quite good. I might side by side that real quick here in a moment with the country ham. So, ooh, yeah, vanilla caramel, that berry sweetness. It's a very good pour. That kitchen table is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. I think I've only got these 3 left to give like detailed notes on. I'm going to try to go Shiny Barrel, then I'll go Beaten Biscuits, and then I'll come back to. Then I'll go back to Country Ham, Shiny Barrel, Beaten Biscuits, Country Ham, and then I'll do Country Ham compared with No Secret. But first, oh god, the nose on this is so good. This might be one of my favorites. This is really fantastic. Hold on now. Honey, sweet, woody. Okay. To me, this Shiny Barrel batch is prototypical Booker's. Now, I've got a card for Shiny Barrel batch. Their tasting notes say, rich vanilla notes that my father always looked to be signature to Booker's bourbon. Taste is warm and pleasant. Finish is medium and warm. These are terrible tasting notes, by the way. What are you doing, Fred? Gives you a nice Kentucky hug after swallowing. Shiny Barrel batch is one Dad would enjoy. Yeah, this is prototypical Booker's. This is right down the lane. The backyard barbecue has been open the longest. Sweet honey, wood, slight nuttiness. A lot of other little tidbits here and there. Very complex, but subtle. I give you the predominant notes. Yeah, I think that's doing everything right in Booker's context. So that up. Realize I'm speeding up a little bit. I'm being a little bit less detailed and nuanced, but you know, this has been a lot of whiskey all in one shot. I'm trying to keep it together. I realize I've done 3 different live streams. You know, and this one without a microphone, which, yes, I know people have said it sounds fine, but I'm very picky. I'm very particular. I'm a perfectionist. I want it to sound perfect, and I'm trying to just quiet that part of me and just be very zen about it, which is not very natural for me, but it's a good way to be. This one. This is Beaten Biscuits. God, it really does. That I kind of love that Beaten Biscuits is the most clearly named based on the flavor. Like, this smells like honey biscuits. If you ever gone to Popeyes and gotten chicken, and then you take the biscuits and you put the honey spread on them, get rid of that honey spread and get pure, actual, real freaking honey and put it on those biscuits, and tell me it doesn't smell like this. It's freaking good, man. All right, let's taste it. Ooh, okay. Early in the palate, I get some herbal qualities. I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It makes me move. It's a definite herbal note early in this. That's really cool. Long-lasting, lingering baking spice finish. Yeah, they're hard to find, the Beaten Biscuits. I'll let you know, Nate, if I see one, because they are hard to find. They're uncommon out there right now. You know, it's kind of funny, just a total aside. A lot of the whiskey channels that I've seen have pretty good following counts. They do their streams on Saturday night. That just seems so weird to me. Like, Saturday night is the night people go out and they go do things and they go have dinner, and they, like, I you know, I love having viewers. I love having you guys support me, but, like, I can't imagine you going out on Saturday night or staying in on Saturday night and doing this instead of, like, something else, even if it's something with the family. If you like watching whiskey content on a Saturday night, good for you. I'm happy you enjoy it. That just seems weird to me. I'm getting used to this new lifestyle of being over 30. In my 20s, I was a little bit more wild. I was a little bit more of a free spirit. I wouldn't say I've become any more conservative or any more restrictive in my life plan, but thanks, Nate. But I do think that there's something weirdly sacred for me about a Saturday night, and it's hard to get used to the idea, specifically with the COVID and the lockdown and everything else happening in the world. My Saturday night as a go out and party night, or even just go out and see friends, go out and meet up for dinner night, that's all kind of gone away. It's weird. Times are weird. Yeah, see, that's what I do too, Trevor. When I see there are people that are streaming on Saturday nights, I check them out later on. I don't watch the live stream very typically, but some of them go really late, and that's what I think you have to do is you have to start your stream at like 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. But I don't want to do that. Like I already felt weird doing a start time at 9 p.m. Now it is a Sunday, so it's a little different, but like I don't know. I don't know. That's their choice. They can do what they want. Oh, getting that pine note. Nate wants me to live stream on Tuesday. I've done Patreon live streams on Tuesdays, Nate, but you wouldn't know anything about that. Gotta give Nate a little bit of shit. I've been giving him shit about not being a patron for a long time, but you know how much whiskey he provides me, so I can't give him too much shit. Just the right amount. Yeah, the woodiness and the nuttiness are really starting to show up. Beaten Biscuits is so interestingly sharp. It's got this really woody astringency in a very specific spot on the palate that I really like. Joe says, "Give him shit." Oh man, thanks, Joe. I will. Joe sent me some serious samples as well. Shout out, Joe. I haven't done very many reviews on them. Unfortunately, my backlog is stupid. But part of why I haven't done that is because Joe has sent me several samples that I really want to do as part of a series. For example, I've got some great, and not only Joe, but other people have sent me some samples that are a part of the Michter's lineup. And I've talked in the past about wanting to do a Michter's full lineup of all the Michter's products I can get my hands on. I just discovered somebody that has a Michter's 20 open. I watched them open it live, and some of you know who I'm talking about. I won't call them out, but I have got to get my hands on a pour of that, even a half ounce, for Christ's sake. Any amount of the Michter's 20 product would be fantastic to review. I would love it. You can see how excited I am about that. God, and the Michter's 25, I can't even imagine. I can't even fathom. It just blows my mind. But I want to do a full Michter's lineup. And I want to do a full lineup of Stags. Oh, while I'm thinking about it, let me just throw this out there. If any of you have any leads on the Stag Junior 1, 3, 6, 7, 8, hit me up. Let me know. 1, 3, 6, 7, 8. I've got 5 Stag Junior batches left to pick up to have the whole lineup. Now, I don't have the 14, the brand new one. But I'm going to try to find a bottle of that through the normal channels. If I can't, then I may have to rely on a sample. But I would like to try to find a bottle just for my own personal collection. We'll see what happens. Trevor says, any night I would tune in to Kyle, but I must say 8 or later works better, gives me time to get the little one settled down. That is part of why I tend to do this at 8:30. I feel like it's a good middle point between being really late at night and being too early for people when they have to get their kids to bed or they have to deal with family matters or what have you. So I really like operating on the 8 to 9 p.m. start time timeline. These 2-hour streams in particular really work well in that because then I'm done by 10 or 11. I don't feel like I'm getting done crazy late. I do work a day job, unfortunately. Maybe one day I won't have to. Maybe I can make whiskey a full-time job, but not quite there yet. First, I got to get these live streams figured out. Then maybe I can make whiskey a full-time job. Let's do one thing at a time, huh? I don't like this as much. I like Shiny Barrel better than this. I know you're trying to help with the 20, Nate. I appreciate it. We'll make it happen. I'm not worried. The guy who opened it is very generous, man. I do fully believe I'll be able to get a sample from him, but it needs to be at the right time, and it needs to be in the right way. I don't have a lot I can send him to do a proper trade, but I can send him some Goodwill pours. So I think that will probably happen in the near future. I need to double check if he's bought any Glencairns. By the way, I have Glencairns for sale. Drink Pro Glencairns. Reach out to me. I can sell you a couple or a dozen or however many you need. I've also got I Drink and I Know Things Glencairns. Some of you may not know I'm part of a whiskey group called the I Drink and I Know Things Whiskey Group. And they've got some fun glassware. I've got some right here I'll show you while I'm thinking about it. It's got the group's name on the front, which if you don't know about it, hit me up. I can add you, join the group. But then it's got a cool dragon on the back. It's got the dragon. I Drink and I Know Things Whiskey Group. You actually see it better that way because it's the correct direction. But yeah, these are fun. So I got glass. Hit me up. Don't buy your Glencairns from Amazon. Buy them from me. From the Drink Pro. Come on. They are sweet, Nate. I agree. Okay, hold on now. It's probably not good for me, to be honest. That water tastes like straight up plastic. They say that we consume about a credit card's worth of plastic every however many days. I don't know. I don't know what they say. I don't know anything about that, but it's not good for us, I'm sure. George Carlin. George Carlin, one of my favorite comedians, used to do a bit about I'm glad the steak is good, Joe. I'm jealous, my brother. George Carlin used to do a bit about plastic and about the meaning of life and the purpose of mankind's existence on this earth. He said, we always think of ourselves as this high and mighty being, like we are here to do this great work. But what if the earth just decided we needed humans to get plastic, just to create plastic? Because it doesn't go away. It stays for thousands, millions of years. But we have to synthesize it from that fossil fuel. So what if that's the purpose of human life? And he says it as a joke, but I think there's something really freeing about that. There's something freeing to think about something so silly and frivolous being the meaning of human life, because it makes you sit back and go, maybe I'm taking myself a little too seriously. Not that you shouldn't behave well, that you shouldn't try to live a good life, but I, for one, am always wrapped up in it. I always feel compelled and stuck. And Nate has produced zero plastic. You got to get on that, Nate. I often feel like I should be doing more. I could be doing more. I could be working harder. I could be making more content. I could be fighting harder to get subscribers to sell things. There's that self-doubt that's always in the back of your mind. It's hard to escape. But when I think about that, Richard Pryor said, I keep saying Richard Pryor. George Carlin. When I think about George Carlin saying the purpose of human life is plastic, I start laughing. I go, yeah, you need to let yourself relax, Kyle. You're taking yourself way too fucking seriously. Just have fun. Just make the most of your time here. That's all we can do. Didn't expect this stream to get philosophical 50 minutes into the third stream, did you? I can't help it. My background is showing philosophy major. That's what I did in high school. What I did in college. What year is it? I don't know. Let's drink some more. I'm going to do one more. I'm going to get out of here and go drink the rest of that gallon of water and probably eat a burrito because that seemed to work last time. This is really about figuring out my favorite batch. I love you, brother. Thanks, Nate. Oh, God. Oh, hold on. That country ham. That country ham is doing all the right things. But it doesn't taste like Booker's. You know what? As much as I love that country ham, it's missing something Booker's-y. I'm glad you love it, Trevor. That's very true. You never know where this is going to go. I was prepared to get nice and hot and sweaty and towel myself off, but luckily I never needed to. I will judge it that way, Nate. I'm not going to judge it based on like a prototypical Booker's, but that's just interesting to me because that never occurred to me until tonight. But after tasting 11 of these, it does stand out as different in a way that's off profile. Matter of fact, in my current mind state, the Teresa's batch is more on profile than the country ham. And the reason that people liked the country ham better was just because the way in which it was off profile is one people tend to like, which is a fruit forward styling. Whoa, I'm sure that's good content for the live stream. Woof. Oh no. Is Joe sending me pictures? Hold on. Joe is sending me photos of the food that he is grilling. You bastard. I cannot grill anything right now. Okay. Now, see, a lot less fruity, but No Secret is really good. No Secret reminds me more of like, it's got some of the Knob Creek elements, but it's very sweet. It's very, no, he PM'd me that, Nate. That was a PM. He's just getting under my skin. Boy, No Secret's really good, guys. It's really good. It's really honey forward. It's sweet and wonderful and delicate. But I love that fruitiness. Okay. All right. I got one left in me, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go down the line, see if anything can beat current champion, country ham. I know there are other pours out there that probably beat it. I've got a Booker's 25th anniversary that I did not include as part of this stream that I will do a side-by-side of against the country ham. See if it can beat that. I bet it will. I don't know. We'll find out. But I just felt like I couldn't do the 25th here. The 25th is a hard-to-find pour. It's rare. It's interesting. It needs its own special event. It needs its own video. So going back, 2013-6. I'm going to reorder these. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to reorder these. All right. We're going to do all of these in order, and then I'll give you my final ordering. My mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Ann Fletcher. That's my mother. Always good to have you on the live stream, Mom. All right. I think that 2013-6 is I'm going to assign random numbers to things. That to me is a 7. No Secret. No Secret's really good. I got to give that an 8. That's really good. That's better than that. All right, Tommy's batch. Well, so I killed the Tommy's batch already, almost all the way. I'm going to add just a wee bit. Yes, the Snapple review is legendary. It's wonderful. She was mad at me when I first posted that, but it got so much traction that I couldn't help but post it. I was like, it's such a great send up. Part of the reason I posted that review, if you haven't seen it, hit me up. I'll send it to you. But the Snapple review that my mom did, part of why I posted it is because it was such a great send up. She did a great job hitting all of the notes that I always talk about, and really, really just made me look silly in the most fun way possible. I loved it. So shout out Mom for that one. That was good. That was good stuff. Back to it. Here's Tommy's batch. I like that more than the 2013, but a lot less than the 2015-6. So we'll give that a 7.25. Blue Knights batch. I remember this one not being one I liked. It's not bad. It's just not my favorite. We'll give that 6.75. Backyard Barbecue. Oh, interesting. Okay. So, I like the Backyard Barbecue just slightly more. Yeah, just slightly more than the 2013-6. So I'm going to give it a 7.25. Hit the water right quick because yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, Mom. I'm having a lot of technology problems with the live streaming already, and I'm pretty tech savvy, so yeah, Nate's going to be a Patreon of your content, Mom. So I don't even know if she knows what that means. Okay. Where were we? Kitchen table. Let's give kitchen table a shot. Oh, that's really good. I really like that. I think I like Kitchen Table more than I like No's Secret. So Kitchen Table gets an 8.25. These numbers are arbitrary, by the way. It's just a way to distinguish between them. She knows it's money. That's right, Mom. The Patreon is money. It's a way that I can keep making these videos and maybe be able to buy equipment that doesn't fail in the middle of my live streams. That means she's been listening to me, Nate. I've blathered on about Patreon to her several times. So I'm glad that she's been paying attention to me because I know sometimes I can't even pay attention to me. Yeah. Teresa's batch. I'm going to put that really high. I'm going to put that really high. I'm doing it, guys. I'm doing it. I'm putting that Teresa's batch above Kitchen Table. That's currently my highest. Don't believe the hype machine, guys. Don't believe it, because when I blinded, and I did this blind, this I know what I'm drinking. And I go in with those expectations. And so my instinct to cut against the grain might make me like the Teresa's batch better. But when I did totally blind all of these, you can't see them, all of these Elijah Craig barrel proofs right here, you know what? The B519, the one that was the most maligned by every reviewer. Nobody liked that batch best except for me. And that doesn't mean I'm wrong, by the way. That means that my palate is different than those people, which is part of why I think I've got content that might be worth looking at, because I've clearly got a different palate. Don't trust everybody, every talking head you see. Figure out somebody, hopefully me, that has a palate like you. And if they like it, then you will like it. Anyway. Also, hype beasts don't really understand what they're talking about. Teresa's batch is different. Doesn't mean it's bad. We've already talked about that. I won't get into that again. Shiny barrel. Here we go. Oh, that's really good. That's really good. All right. All right. I'm going to change some ratings here. I'm going to put kitchen table back at 8, tied with no secret. Woo! There is some chocolate in that honey barrel batch. I got to give Shiny Barrel, I said honey barrel batch, Shiny Barrel batch. I'm going to give Shiny Barrel 8.25. And I'm going to kick back Teresa's to 8.25. So Teresa's and Shiny Barrel are tied for first. Oh. Oh. Thanks, Joe. I'm glad to hear that, Joe. That's good. Yeah, Teresa's batch is worth finding. Yolanda understands, and she won't need to wake me up with pots and pans because I need to be up about 6 a.m. anyway. So it's going to be a long morning, nonetheless, with or without what's happening right now to my liver and the rest of my body. Finally. Oh, fuck. I don't have any Granny's batch left. All right. Quick sip of beaten biscuits. Oh, no. That's funny. I liked beaten biscuits so much more before, but it's better than Tommy's batch. Is it better than Backyard Barbecue? Yeah. All right. Is it better than No Secret? No. So, Granny's beaten biscuits is going to get a 7.3. Just barely better. Just barely better than Tommy's batch. I'm going to upgrade Backyard Barbecue to 7.4. I've given myself the tiniest of pours of Granny's batch, but it should be enough. Here we go. That's super good. That's my highest currently is Shiny Barrel. It's better than that. 8.3. One of the lowest I've got is the oldest one. Let me make sure that's correct. No, that's not correct. All right. I'm not going to be able to go back and reevaluate all these numbers because I'm too deep in these pours. In the interest of self-preservation, I'm not going to go through them again. I will say that I'm pretty comfortable saying that that was an 8.25. That puts it up near the top. I think I gave it a very conservative 7 because it was the first one I tasted. I then said that No Secret was better. I don't think I agree with that anymore. But Country Ham, it's the best one. It's the best one. My top 3 are Country Ham, Beaten Biscuits, and then a tie between Shiny Barrel and Teresa's and the 2013-6. And everything else kind of falls short. I will say honorable mention to No Secret. Yeah. Kitchen Table is pretty good too. Guys. Yeah, Granny's batch was number 2, Nate. I've had way too much bourbon. That gallon of water will not do me enough good. This was a mistake. It was a fun mistake, but a mistake nonetheless. Thank you all so much for joining me. If you're not a member of the Patreon, please join it. If you haven't bought glasses, please buy them. If you want to support me in any other way, please consider sending me some whiskey pours. That's always very helpful. As I've said already tonight, but I will say again, I am looking for Stag Junior batches 1, 3, 6, 7, and 8. I'm also looking for E.H. Taylor, any of the special editions. I've got currently the rye, the small batch, the single barrel, the barrel strength, the grain of the gods, and the cured oak. So if you have the tornado, if you have the 4 grain, if you have any other E.H. Taylor special release that you want to shoot me, even a half ounce, honestly. I mean, an ounce is really what I need to do a proper review, and 2 ounces is generous and preferred. But any amount that I can do in a lineup would be fantastic. I'm also doing the Michter's full lineup, so if you've got some Michters, let me know. I might be able to make something happen. That'd be great. And yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to doing a little bit lower price point review of some daily drinkers, as they're called. Yeah, well, Trevor, I think I actually have a sample of the Grain of the Gods, thankfully, but you should grab one for yourself. And we can, when I do the review, you can taste it along with me. Yeah, I realize that the other ones I'm looking for are incredibly hard to find. The 18-year marriage is just damn near impossible. But, I figure I can't help but ask repeatedly, and eventually somebody might reach out. But yeah, like if you know of a daily drinker that would be, worth putting in to a review, specifically a live stream, I'm talking about under $25, an under $25 or under, $25 or under whiskey that you think is worth doing in a daily drinker live stream. Hit me up, shoot me a message, just or tag, post it on my Facebook wall, whatever, however you want to get a hold of me. Let me know. I think that'd be a really cool review video. Yeah, that's all I got. All right, everybody. You all have a good night. Keep drinking like professionals. You know I will. Cheers.